Is union really going to make you happy? Stay tuned and let's find out. It seems to be all we think about, but is union with our divine masculine going to make us happy? I see all of you every time you see any kind of social media that has the word union in it. We've all put union on this huge pedestal, but can it really live up to our expectations? And see, we've already dived right into a problem. The word expectation. What are you all expecting exactly? Are the clouds going to part and the birds be lined up singing the tune of your couple song while your DM is just standing at the end of it looking perfect with flowers and engagement ring and your dream home ready to be built? You might be saying, no way, Alyssa, I'm not expecting all that. But are you? Be honest with yourself and answer honestly, what are you expecting? Pause here if you need to and imagine what is it exactly that you are envisioning is going to happen with union. For some of you, just that exercise alone may have switched on a light bulb, but let's continue. So let's say it's been a short amount of time, and in that amount of time, you have not yet healed, done the work, and accomplished finding yourself, and more importantly, finding happiness on your own. So your DM enters the picture. Nothing much has changed for you, and nothing much has changed for them. Actually, in this case, since we're talking about it that way, let's call them the unawakened counterpart in this scenario, because they're not at divine masculine stage yet, right? Okay. So what is going to be different from how it was in the past? Whatever led you to have to go into separation before, what makes you believe the same pattern won't happen again? Let me jump in with a metaphor here. Today, we're going to talk about the story of fruit trees. Say you run down to the local nursery and you get all excited and you pick out an apple tree and a lime tree and an orange tree. You plant them in the ground with the right soil and you water them. You are convinced and overjoyed by the fact that in spring, you'll have apples, limes, and oranges filling your kitchen every week. But spring comes and you go out and look at the trees and you find out that nothing much has changed with them. Even if they grew fruit, it wasn't the edible kind. These expectations that you had, well, they dwindled down into nothing, and now you are sad, disappointed, and resentful that you just put $300 into trees that gave you nothing. Well, you decide to leave them be, and maybe next year will be even better. You don't change anything, you just continue to water them. After a couple of years of this though, you get a little frustrated, and then you start Googling information about these trees and find out that it actually takes up to 8 years before they provide fruit that is actually what you want. You also find out during those years you needed to be giving them a specific kind of fertilizer in a very specific spot in the yard, and you also needed to protect them from certain elements like bugs and frost. If only you had taken the time to research this in the beginning and set reasonable expectations, then you would have saved yourself a lot of grief, right? Instead, you could have focused on what those trees needed over the next few years to make them healthy. Divines, you are the trees. The fruit you are expecting is your divine masculine. If you place all your focus on the fruit, you are actually going to miss out on getting the fruit. Ever. Why? Because you never placed any focus on the trees. One doesn't come without the other. You missed the part about you. See, you don't want to go into union with the issues you had before. You know what you want your DM to change about themselves, right? I'm sure you can easily list 3 things right now. Won't take long at all. But what about the 3 things that you need to change? I know. Some of you are already saying, why do I have to do all the work and they don't have to do it? Listen, really think about this. Is union going to work if neither of you changes these things about yourself? Will it? I know you've all heard the saying that goes, the definition of insanity is repeating the same process over and over again and expecting change. I'm going to give you all a crash course right here, right now, of childhood trauma work. When you are a little kid, you are dependent upon the adults caring for you. They have to provide for you, and therefore it is up to them if you get fed, have shelter, and receive love. As a kid, you don't have the ability to do these things for yourself. You are 100% dependent on another. They have to fix your problems for you when they arise. You are always looking to them for something. There's no way around this. Fast forward to when you're an adult. Subconsciously, this dependence and need for someone else to take care of you remains. It's still there. It's not obvious, and it shows up in tricky ways that you can't consciously see. Until you realize that this need, which is actually playing out as a feeling like a desire, until you realize that you as an adult who can now provide for and care for yourself, you are going to continue to be drawn to this other person, your DM in this case, to fix things for you, to take care of you. Again, this is done subconsciously in the brain. You don't even realize that you've gone and replaced your caregiver who may have not provided for you in the right ways with this DM who now can't provide for you in the right ways because they haven't done the work on themselves. Now, I don't want to confuse things. Your DM should one day support you and provide for you, but there is a huge difference between them giving that willingly out of love and having the strong want to protect you, and the opposite, which is you feeling like you can't survive without that. In the latter, you are missing your own power within. When you are missing your own power, it is literally impossible for another person to provide for you all the desires you ever have. You subconsciously place them on a pedestal, and instead of appreciating the ways that they do provide support and protect, you pick apart the ways that they don't. Because again, they're not filling that void, and it is impossible for them to. Because there is a void inside of you that never got fulfilled by you. In the last video where we talked about your divine masculine being the sun, and I spoke of your internal wiring, and if you haven't watched that video, I will link it at the end of this one to make it easy. But basically, you have neural pathways that have been programmed. Without reprogramming them, rewiring them, they will tell you right now that all your happiness comes from other sources, also known as the external or something outside of you. I'm going to go ahead and repeat it again, because why shouldn't we start here and now in reprogramming your wiring? You are no longer a child and no longer need someone else to provide for you. You can do that for yourself. So what is your divine masculine supposed to mean to you? They are your catalyst for unconditional love. That is it, and that is all. The universe already gave you that gift. It can't be taken away, it can't be destroyed. Even if they die, it will still be there because it exists at a soul level. Third dimensional things die, but fifth dimension existence never does. So your divine masculine will always be steering you towards love and towards yourself, towards a powerful knowing of who you are. This may come as a complete shocker, but it's actually impossible for this to happen in the physical. 95% of what I just described happens in the fourth and the fifth dimensions, where your higher self works in conjunction with your divine masculine's higher self. And for some of you, it also plays out in the astral through Kundalini awakenings or even telepathy with your twin. Trying to make this happen through the third dimension, also known as the physical, just comes out messy. For example, you click on one of those videos that talk about union and they normally go one of two ways. First way, the fake ones will talk all about how the DM feels about you right now. It will feed those currently set neural pathways. In other words, it acts as crack addiction. The more they are fed, the more you need the crack, which actually plays out as nothing more than a temporary high until it wears off and you feel more depressed than when you started. Or for some of you on this journey, the universe gets louder, trying to pull your focus elsewhere, back on you. The second way, the videos meant to empower you will always end up leading you back to yourself and telling you that the twin flame journey is one of a union with self. I want to go back to the fruit trees for a moment. These fruit trees are a part of nature. You are a part of nature. The most beautiful things in nature take time. And if union with your divine masculine is going to be one of those things, it needs space and nutrients for both you and your divine masculine to grow. The quicker you focus on your own healing, on your own shadow work, and on your own stuff, including making certain changes to your life, the sooner union will be. Let me explain one more absolutely vital thing. If you are, on any level, looking to your divine masculine to provide you greater than 5% happiness, and I really, really, really want you to focus on that number, 5%. When you think of union, if your thoughts and your expectations ever creep up above that line, meaning you believe your divine masculine will increase the happiness in your life by more than 5%. So if you're here at 60%, which is pretty good happiness level, and they come in and raise you up to a happiness of 65, awesome. But if you are down at like 30% and you are expecting them to raise you up to that 65, impossible. Absolutely impossible for another person to do that for you. And in that case, if you have those expectations, then you have just set union up to fail. Listen, there is this thing that happens to your world when you start to go within and find yourself. When you shed all the trauma you've been holding on to, when you let go of all the ideals you were taught to have growing up, you begin to see the world through different eyes. You feel differently in your body. You wake up in the morning with a sense of the world being yours to do whatever you want with it. It's hard to believe until you get there, but trust me, it happens. But see, you can only find that by yourself because you and your divine masculine came to this earth with different ideas of what makes you happy. Let me give you an example here. My divine masculine loves going to the gym. I hate the gym and would rather be in my Pilates studio with my favorite instructor on my TV in my house. If I never had the time and space alone to find out that Pilates is what makes me happy, and instead I look to my divine masculine to provide that happiness or that guidance, then I'd be trying to do what he does, going to the gym. Would I be happy though? No, because that's his stuff, not mine. And so if I'm going to the gym, not being happy, is our union gonna be happy? If I'm not doing the things that fulfill me, am I bringing positivity and surrendering and opening my divine feminine heart to the union? Well, how can I? I spent all of my time focused on him and missed what makes me happy, what makes me able to bring my best to union. You all won't be able to see this until you get there. Maybe your ego is standing in the way. Maybe sometimes this all just feels too daunting. It doesn't have to be. You can take small steps towards your future. Listen, instead of taking your next vacation to an all-inclusive resort where you'll just get drunk the whole time, try going to a healing retreat or maybe a meditation retreat. or a goddess retreat. Next time you want to click on that video that talks all about union, try clicking on a video that feeds your inner self, teaches you something new. It can be healing work, or it can just be how to paint a sunset on a canvas, or how to learn a new hairstyle that you can try before Saturday when you go out shopping for that new dress that is going to make you feel inspired. Go to Amazon and buy a gratitude journal. This is huge. Write in it at least a few times a week. Focus on the things you've been blessed with, the gifts the universe has already given to you. The universe wants you to have all the gifts, but your vibration needs to match it. That's how abundance works. And that's how gratitude journals help you. In fact, I'm going to link my favorite gratitude journal in the description below. You guys, there is a whole world out there beyond your divine masculine. It's beautiful, it's awe-inspiring, and the universe put it there for all of us to experience. All you have to do is take one small baby step towards it. And from there, I guarantee you, it'll snowball and start flowing into another and another until your life has changed. Will you forget about your divine masculine? You won't. They're not going anywhere. But you will have changed, and when they see you again, you will be this indestructible force of divine feminine flow, with a sense of self that no one can deny. I read all of your comments, and I've heard some of you saying that you take notes while watching my videos. I am so honored every day that these words are helping you. If you want more of my content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Even if your comment is just some hearts to let me know that this meant something to you. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.